Hi, this is Dr. Pulsifer, and I'm going to talk today about some of the peculiarities and special cases of RPG rules. The nature of at least tabletop RPGs is that the players can try to do anything. So it's impossible to cover every possibility. That's the reason why you have a human referee. In video games, without, of course, a human referee, the players are much more limited in what they can do, but many seem to be used to that and don't mind. So you can't cover everything. How much do you cover? Well, the question is, how long do you want your rules to be? Hundreds of thousands of words, as in 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons? Like one Pathfinder rulebook I looked at, 566 pages? Or do you want to stick to a mere 100,000 words, which is on the long end of the average novel length, 90 to 100,000 words? Contrast this with board and card games, which have rules as little as 1,000 words, and 20,000 is a lot. I've not designed role-playing games in part because there are too many words. The British 20th century composer Sir William Walton wrote one opera, and when he finished he said, "Don't write an opera, too many notes." Well, I have the same point of view about role-playing games, too many words. So you have to choose your emphasis. What are the main attractions or foci of your game? Is it combat? Is it interpersonal relationships, exploration, politics? There are lots of possibilities. Write your more detailed rules to cover those possibilities. That's simple common sense. Don't try to be exhaustive, because if you do, you'll get exhausted, and so will many of your readers. Yes, some of them will be happy to read every word you want to write, but that's the exception. I hearken to two maxims, even in role-playing games, certainly in board games, which is, everything should be made as simple as possible, but not simpler. Albert Einstein. Or, a designer knows he has achieved perfection not when there is nothing left to add, but when there is nothing left to take away. By the Frenchman who wrote Little Prince, among many other things. Now also keep in mind the distinction between rules, settings, and adventures. A game has to have rules. But a role-playing game does not need to have an explicit setting, and it does not need to include adventures. Rules govern what the characters can and cannot do within their coverage, and then you have a referee to take care of the rest. The rules describe the mechanics of the game. Settings, on the other hand, describe the area where the player characters operate. It may be an entire world, it may be part of a world. It may be quite small, quite large. It's geographical, chronological, historical, technological, cultural, and so forth. They're all part of the setting. So you can have setting books that are larger than the average novel. Adventures, on the other hand, describe a situation with some kind of objective where characters have the opportunity to succeed or fail. There can be a story imposed by the designer, or the designer can present a situation and let the players write their stories, or somewhere in between. You're not obliged to write a setting or adventures, but either one, and especially some kinds of adventures, might make it easier for a person new to your game to function. You have to write the rules, though, if you're going to make a game. Now, I have to say, some so-called RPGs, role-playing games, are actually puzzles, or they're co-op play activities, not games. Again, too many words, but if you feel the need to write an RPG, recognize what you're up against. Thanks for listening.